Welcome to the InStory show. I'm Devorah Spilman, your host, and our theme is what does it mean to expand into a new story? And how do you come out of hiding and dare to be seen for who you really are by saying yes to your soul and telling your story? So today I'm thrilled to welcome Raquel Spencer. Hi, Raquel.
Hi, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. We're going to read a little bit about you and we'll dive in. Raquel Spencer is an internationally recognized Ascension Specialist whose work sits at the intersection of consciousness, human biology, and spiritual development. For over 2 decades, she has worked with thousands of people worldwide, including scientists, CEOs, researchers, IT specialists, and more, seeking higher levels of awareness and helping them access levels of awareness and functioning that conventional approaches do not address. I think that's putting it mildly, but okay. All right, so I'm going to ask you the same question I ask everybody, which is what does expanding into a new story mean to you?
Well, there's a lot of things that it means, but primarily as we step into the new energies, what is happening with consciousness across the globe for humanity, and especially for those of us who are the way showers, it's to recognize that who we've been does not at all truly reflect who we are and who are we becoming or who we're becoming as we let the old stories of us that are locked into the old programming go
Mhm.
and to really learn how to follow your heart, listen to your guidance, throw away conventional shoulda, woulda, couldas, right? What you should be doing, what's expected, and really allow your high heart to guide you to be who you truly are, not your identity. And it's a big difference. We have been raised, we have been living in an experience that was all about individual identity. And that doesn't mean that your experiences haven't helped shape you, and that is what makes us grow. But it is about letting that identity really kind of go and step into the truth as a multidimensional being of light, stepping into you are so much more than what meets the eye here, and then bridging that to allow the old identity, oh, I was this, take the wisdom and then bring it forward in a way that inspires and helps others around you remember who they are as well.
I really, really love that. And I think this whole idea of identity, I think gets confusing to people, right? Because who that question, who am I? And the whole concept, I just listened to somebody talking about how your identity is like the film projecting, not the world shaping you exactly, or like we're reversing the awareness of the directionality of cause and effect to some degree, I think. But like, what do you think helps people become aware of the difference?
Well, it's interesting because as we continue on this awakening process, the ascension process of moving into higher states of awareness, and as our biology evolves so that we can access that wisdom, I think one of the biggest things is really understanding that this is one singular identity in a multitude of experiences that you are having simultaneously at a quantum level, right? We've lived this life. We've been mothers, or whatever our profession was. We were raised to think profession and am I a mother? Am I a spouse? Am I all these things? That's really who we are. And it's not. It's just roles that we stepped into. But the truth of who we are is so vast, is so multidimensional, is so beyond this one singular That when you start to really live from that awareness and take the wisdom is important, right? And there's the wisdom of what we've gleaned through those roles,
Hmm.
truly understanding that we're so much more. And as we move through this ascension process, as there is this massive awakening that's happening for humanity, right? Understanding that there's so much more of you to access and to give to the world in service.
Hmm.
It's not about what did I study in school. It's not about, oh, I worked in this industry. It's about coming home into the totality of who you are as a multidimensional being and surrendering those experiences, gaining the wisdom, and then accessing your higher wisdom as well. And then blending that forward because we can't step into a new reality if we're bringing the old with us. The old
Right.
baggage doesn't work. The old identities don't work. They were wonderful for the place and time that we were experiencing them, but we are in such a profound shift, trigger point, timeline shift. I don't like that particular ideal, but we are moving into a different way of being human.
Hmm.
And many of us and anybody listening here, we're on the forefront.
Hmm.
So you have to step into the expansiveness of who you are as a multidimensional being, realizing, oh, this isn't, it's not just about this lifetime. It's not even just about this lifetime here on this planet in this civilization. It's not even about, I mean, there's so many broader levels of you that as you release the stronghold of the identity, allow the wisdom to come and live from here, live from that understanding, step into it every day the experiences, the way you show up, the way you're able to hold the frequency of that higher consciousness. And then I always use the word serve because I'm here to serve,
Right.
however that shows up. And a lot of people serve isn't also, can be a little bit of an identity as well, but I hold the field. And that allows people to experience their own awakening.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, we're all, that's the drive that I think most of our audience has. It's like, I know I'm here for something big.
Right, right. We feel it. And I see that too all the time, myself and the women who come into my world as well, that sense that I call it like your soul calling, like you're being called to something more, but you just don't know the shape of it yet.
Well, and your soul knows your
Right.
identity. Your identity is oftentimes what kind of holds us back
Mm.
because you don't think you're qualified.
Right.
You
Right.
don't think
To do
you're
that.
good enough, right?
Right.
And that goes back to identities but the truth of it is, and I believe this very, very strongly. Anybody who's watching a show like yours, anyone who's drawn to my work, you already are a multidimensional master of light. It's about accessing, it's about remembering.
Right.
So the identities and actually even sometimes the stories we get locked into. We have to shed those so that the wisdom can drive us forward
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
step into that new expression.
Right, right. And that's the thing, like I'm always into having people tell their stories. I'm asking you because as humans, we still have stories. It's just we're not trapped in them.
Exactly.
So, and the stories are getting a lot more expanded. And so, but I would love for you to tell us, like, if you can share like a kind of a turning point that's helped you. I know you had that major one that launched you, which
Oh
people
yeah.
can read
I've
about in
got
your free gift.
so many examples of stories because, we are all conditioned in the old human way.
Right.
And but I have been you know, I'll tell you my biggest story, the way that I still resist. The way that I get the download, I get the intuition, I'm like, huh? I can't do that. Wait a minute. But the thing that's shifting, the things that I'm really showing that is shifting from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, is how quickly that hesitation, that I don't want to do that. What do you mean do that? How I don't know how to do that. How shorter the time I
Right.
stay in that.
Yeah.
For example, quick story. In 2020, major life event, right? I had been looking to move. I knew I needed to move. I was looking at new houses. I was felt very confined in my in the place I was living at the time.
Where were you? What state?
I was in Tucson, Arizona, actually Oro Valley, and I
Okay.
was in a nice little condo. I was there primarily because of family. And my mom, I was help taking care of my mom, right? How we do. We
Mhm.
show up for our loved
Yep.
ones.
Yep.
And she passed May 1st of 2020. And that was right at COVID, right? And we figured out how to use Zoom to do a memorial service on Memorial Day, right? Because you couldn't get together. So whatever. You remember, we remember those old stories, right? Trying to keep us apart. But a friend of mine lived in Palm Springs and said, "Why don't you come over? I got my pool. All the pools were closed. Everything was closed, right? Um, I've got a pool. Come over, visit me." So I did, which was a wonderful experience. On the way back, I'm driving from Palm Springs to Tucson. On the way back, I hear a very strong intuition come through, download, voice, whatever you want to call it. Turn left. Like, turn left? What are you talking about? Turn left. I don't have enough clothes. I'm going home. I don't want to go into another hotel with all the ickies because remember when they were spraying really hard. And I'm like, turn left, what's left? I'm like, there's nothing left. I'm on a freeway. There's nowhere to turn left. And I'm like, I went into this resistance. And I pulled off one of the off ramps to, I'll go get some water and I'll use the restroom. I know one person that's left because I looked on the map and the only thing left was Las Vegas. Turn left was Las Vegas. And so I went in and I said, okay, I'm going to give them 5 minutes. If this person doesn't text me back, I'm going home, right? I was just totally, I'm not listening to this. What do you mean turn left? Long story short, they texted me within the next 5 minutes, said, sure, come to Las Vegas. I'm home. You can stay at my house. So I went to Las Vegas and stayed there for 2 days, had a nice time. And when I drove into my driveway, when I got back to Tucson, I heard you're moving to Vegas. Put your house on the market. And that was I landed on a Sunday, I think it was or Friday, and I called the realtor on Monday, and by Friday, the house was sold full price, cash offer, out in 20 days. It all happened so I did, but I laugh at how much I got the direct knowing. And my little ego, my little human personality went, I can't do this. I don't have clean clothes. I don't all the excuses, right? I can't do this. And yet I know from years and years and years of experience, I don't have to know. I just have to say yes. When I get that direct of a knowing, oh, I should do this. Wait, I don't know how to do that. What do you mean? To just surrender. And many get that soul calling, right? Do this. And then there's, I can't. Oh, wait, I don't know how. Wait, I'm busy. I mean, do we all understand this? I think we all understand this.
Well, and at the beginning of things, a lot of times we don't know how the heck to tell if we're getting one of those.
Oh, okay. Well, I've always had really strong,
Right? So
but
you,
it's the one that comes back
right,
over and
right.
over.
Then you
It's
know,
what you
right,
call that soul calling. I know I'm here for something bigger. And then, to be able to surrender into that. And it takes practice because
right.
our human personality will do everything to try to keep the status quo. And boy, if you start moving into doing what your soul calling is, that's a little opposite than what your human ego personality
Right.
wants to keep status quo. So I have so many different, and that just led into all kinds of new things
So
unfolding.
what do you feel is like the main thing you understood about why you ended up being in Las Vegas? Like, did you learn something about what the purpose of it was?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah, and it's a pretty deep purpose. I'm here helping to unlock a inverted grid Stargate. So I had to literally live in it.
oh,
I had to plant myself directly in it to be able to do that work. But it was also talk about a beautiful. I have events, in-person events that I hold at my home. My old home in Tucson really couldn't hold many. It was a 2-day, 3-day event. When I moved to Vegas, the space that I was able to get into, I can hold 18 people. Now, flying and traveling in 2020, 21, 22, people weren't really doing it. And to get to Tucson would have been a hop. You had to go to Phoenix and Tucson, or there were no direct flights. You know what? There is a direct flight. Everybody goes to Vegas, right? So, and on top of that, something I could never have foreseen for my own, in at that time in the beginning 2020, we all thought it was going to be 6 weeks. We all thought it was going to be 3 months. We had no idea it was going to go on for as long as it did. Had I stayed, I wouldn't have really been able to, I don't think the people would have been able to come. The
right.
hotels wouldn't have been, I'm Vegas. Wow, there's always a flight to Vegas, baby. There's always a hotel. You know what I'm saying? So it was, again, another way that supported me in my business that I would have never even thought of.
Right.
So there's always when you say yes and when you follow and when if you get for me that was a pretty quick thing. That was a 5-minute turnaround. Okay, all right, hesitantly I'll go. But when you get that and you get it over and it's still, oh, I know there's something there. Ooh, when you take, here's what I found too. When you take a risk, when you
Mhm.
get that, oh, there's something I need to do. I think it's that, and you start doing it. Things open up. It's the breakthrough of the resistance on the ego part,
Yeah.
the personality part that then opens up for you to be able to hear a little deeper, know a little deeper, try something. It may not be the first, second, third thing you try, but guess what? You're refining. You're
Right.
refining your ability to hear, know, sense, see. I say hear because, and I'm not even sure I just know stuff. I just know. I know. I say
Hmm.
hear, I say see, I do see too, but how do I see that? I don't know how you see. I know how I see. I know how, you know what I'm saying? It's my own experience, but I
Right.
know what I know.
Right.
And it is that willingness to surrender and say, okay, I'll try. Let me try this. And if it's a lot of resistance, go back in and ask, why am I resisting? And
Hmm.
then I'm going to say, drop into your high heart, come into the high heart, which is your central processing unit for your higher self, not the mind.
Mm.
High heart has always been, this is where the knowing comes. The gut as well, but even higher knowing comes in through the high heart. And you practice and that comes in stronger. And then you hear a little bit more, or know a little bit more, or sense a little bit more, or however you perceive, right? And then you step a little bit further and you keep going in and you ask.
Hmm.
Ask. If you're not asking every single day, What can I do to be 100% aligned with my highest truth? What are you doing? If you want, I mean, if you want to be in soul purpose and you want to step in and share your gifts with the world, well, you better be focusing and asking what that is every day. And every day you may not get an answer, but if you don't, you're definitely not.
Right.
If you don't ask the question, you're not going to get the answer very well.
Right, right. That the whole thing about asking is such a deep thing. All the time we hear all the time that you have to ask us, and we will be
Well,
there.
and then put away your preconceived ideas of what your personality and your ego and your stories and identity think that should be. OMG, it's never what you think it's going to be. But it's from my personal experience, and believe me, I've jumped more times than I can even count. It's always better than what my human ego identity could have ever dreamt of. And stuff like, man, I never thought about an airport and flight. I mean, you can't as a human orchestrate like your higher self can. And your higher self is a multidimensional master of light. So start trusting and asking that aspect of you through here, and then surrender your expectations of what and how it's supposed to look and show up.
Okay, want to lead us through something experiential?
Sure. It's one of the things that I talk about quite a bit is the new magnetic structure that is anchoring onto the planet that is running what is called the tri-wave versus the binary, the old program into the new program. And one of the things that I do on a daily basis is, again, I consciously ask to disconnect from the old programming
Mm,
and anchor into the new. You could there's lots of ways to describe it. For me, it is literally a light architecture. It's a magnetic that is anchoring, and this is why we've seen all the shifts in the Schumann resonance over the last couple of decades, why we've seen all the solar flares coming in. There is a changing of the guard, if you will, at a magnetic level. And
mm,
we are magnetic beings of light. So if we're plugged into the old program, dang, it's really hard to hold the higher frequencies and
mm.
sustain it and embody it. We can get there, but we don't hold it, right? So this is part of the technique that I'm offering as the free gift to help you disconnect from the old binary, which runs all the chaos, the fear, the old programming,
Mm.
separation and duality. It's the old program. It's the old magnetics, and tap into the new that are anchoring and emerging that hold that unity consciousness, that trinity wave, that tri wave, that higher program, if you will, magnetic grid, if you will, that we as human beings overlay. So we're going to start with, go ahead and just really close your eyes, and I'll make this really quick because it's a simple, simple idea. Sometimes those are the best, but the only way it works is if you actually do it daily. So this is a quick technique. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and come down into the high heart again. The high heart, if you don't know where it is, it's where the thymus is in the body. It's one of your 8 morphogenetic chakras, your higher chakra system. And it's where your central processing unit for your light body and the energy coming into your fields is. And so just drop into there. And then I want you to imagine a power strip. You know, the things we plug in where there's 10 or 12 different, we can plug in all these different electrical plugs into. I want you to imagine a power strip starting at the base of your spine all the way, or the base of your neck all the way down to the base of your spine. And I want you to just intend that the old binary magnetics, which is quite complex. So we're just going to leave it at the idea of plugins. They interact with your nervous system. And our nervous system is how we move electrical current and information. So I want you to just gently start unplugging from the top of your neck all the plugs, all the current, all of the interface that is connected to the old binary magnetic of separation and duality. And just visualize that pulling out. And again, this has everything to do with chaos and fear and different programs running in the field, EMFs, microwaves, I mean, all of it. And see it unplugging all the way down. The intention is removing the interaction, the interface of that old binary magnetic out of your system. It can feel tingly. It is electric, right? And the intention to disconnect from what has been the old separation and duality program. And then I want you to take the whole power strip and take that off. Again, pulling more. And then some of those power strips, they have on and off. Let's shut it off. And then I want you to just infuse your back, because that's where you're really seeing it. At the back of this goes through your vagus nerve, this goes through your whole nervous system, but is plugged in through the base of the spine down your back. So we're just going to now come into our high heart again. And your high heart is your personal stargate into organic source energy. And so we're going to go ahead and open up the high heart and ask to be connected through the high heart into the new magnetics, the tri-wave magnetics that hold the Christ consciousness, the higher frequency, the unity, and so much more. Those are just some of the words we know, ideas and concepts, anchoring into the higher harmonic universes and our higher wisdom that flow. And I want you to bring that through your high heart and move it simultaneously down and up your spine with pure, divine, organic white light. And then come back into your high heart once again, asking to be anchored into the emerging new tri-wave magnetics of unity consciousness that are anchoring onto the planet Earth, Terra, Gaia, Aurora, through all of her harmonic levels, all of her harmonic universes, so that you can tap into higher wisdom and embody it. And just see that flowing through your main spinal nervous system connections and then through your entire body, lighting up with pure divine light. Go down to the bottoms of your feet and just pull out any of that old binary that you can today. And then just fill your body with the beautiful organic connection through the nervous system into that higher frequencies of light. The organic that is anchoring onto the planet. And when you're ready, just open up your eyes.
Okay, that was great. It's always like interesting when you're hosting the show and you're going off into the other dimensional reality, right? Um, but
I recommend doing that daily because we walk through the world. So the old binary is still there, but as we continue to unplug and plug into the new, through our nervous system, our biology, our the interface of how our body gets information. It's electrical. We're bioelectrical, biochemical beings of light. And
Okay.
it's an
So,
information highway is what it is.
you're right. All right. So tell us about your free gift because people can go a little deeper with this.
The free gift is this technique with a lot more explanation of how to do it and why, the explanation behind it. So it can be very quick. Once you really get into it and you know what you're doing, man, you can unplug that and plug in every day, multiple times a day. And what you're doing is you're training your nervous system, your body, your interface with that higher new grid system that's anchoring,
Mhm.
so that you don't go back into the old as much. It's just like a practice, and you get, oh, now I'm holding it at 20, now at 30, now at 50, now I'm holding it 60% of the time, right? I'm not bouncing back into that old. And as we continue to go through this shift in consciousness and the bifurcation that's happening, it's really important, and it's going to help you stay connected to what is emerging. And then I always say, obviously, once you're connected into that, you send your beautiful light wisdom, you send your frequency through the new tri-wave magnetic to magnetize those who are destined to hear your story, hear your wisdom, interface with you.
Mhm. Yeah, we are so feeling called to help each other like that, and we're not doing this alone. So, all
It's
right,
a
so
hint of
get the free gift. Trust that you guys are all here with us because you're supposed to be here. So do this work, share it with somebody, be brave, right? And so leave us with the last few words before we wrap up.
change happens when you get out of your own way and you listen to that inner voice
Mhm.
and have as much fun while doing it as possible.
Amen, sister. I'm with you. That is really good advice. I hope you will all take that great advice. And as I always say in farewell, first of all, thank you, Raquel. Really beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
And everybody, as I always say, remember, take all this in so you can go out in the world and share your story and live your purpose and be a blessing. Bye, folks.
Bye.